Hey, my name is Michael Griswold, and this video is entitled, "What do I do when my ex keeps trying to contact me?" It can be very frustrating, can't it? They've broken up with you, and now they keep trying to get back in touch with you. What we're going to talk about in this video is what this means, why this is good, and how you can use it for your advantage. Okay? But before I do, I want to give you a little bit of background. Online, there's no lack of self-professing gurus and people who want to give advice, right? Well, having looked around online for advice for people in this situation who've just gone through a breakup of a significant nature, I noticed that everybody's saying the same thing, but there's no real passion behind it. It's just it just seems to me like a bunch of recycled advice. You know, you should move on, etc., etc. Take your mind off of it. But that doesn't really get to the heart of the matter. So instead of allowing people to just fall victim to the same rehashed advice, what I decided to do was to throw my hat in the ring and say, here's what you really do, and here's why you do it. So what we're going to talk about is, what do you do when your ex has broken up with you, but they keep getting in touch with you? Well, first let's talk about, what does this mean? It can be very confusing, because if your ex has told you that they don't want to see you anymore, but they keep trying to get in touch with you, they want to be your friend, it sends a bit of a mixed message, doesn't it? And it's difficult to know, should I get back in touch with them? Should I ignore them? I don't want to be rude. There are all these thoughts that go through your head. Well, first of all, if your ex is getting back in touch with you, clearly they are still interested in seeing your relationship move forward. The reason that that's the case is because if they weren't, they'd be talking to someone else. Now, here's how you can use this to your advantage. Knowing that they want to get back with you, even if it doesn't feel that way, because they're the ones that broke up with you, this gives you a great amount of relational leverage. Now let me be clear for a minute. I don't mean in any way that you're going to exploit or take advantage or make them feel bad for this. Really, this is more for you to understand how this setup works between you two, and how to use it to make your relationship, when you get back together, even better than it was before. So the thing to do is this. If your ex is trying to get in touch with you and wants to see you and wants to hang out as friends or send you messages on Facebook, really the best thing to do is to not respond to them, especially at first. Because what you want to set up is allowing them to get to the point where they recognize that they really want you. See, here's what's happening in that person's mind. They're thinking that they don't want to be with you, but their actions are saying something completely different. Sometimes it's true, isn't it, that people just need to work it out in their head. But if you are catering to them and responding to them and being available at their every beck and call, then they can have the best of both worlds. Do you see what I mean? They can both be in contact with you and be convinced that they don't want to be with you. See, our minds are kind of crazy, and they can do all sorts of things inside our heads that really aren't true in real life. But what you do by not responding to them and by not giving in to their requests is you force them to realize how much they really do want you. And this is stunningly brilliant. And the reason is because instead of wanting you but being afraid to admit it, you allow them to come to this boiling point, this crossing the roads, where they realize they really do. Now, I know that one of the questions that people have out there is, well, what if they come to that crossing the road and they don't? Well, the fact is, if they didn't want to, they wouldn't be in contact with you to begin with. So the real power from this tip comes from recognizing that because they're contacting you, because you are, still on their mind, obviously, it gives you a whole lot more relational leverage to use to help them to become more clear about what they really want. So, to recap, if your ex is getting in touch with you, trying to hang out with you, or trying to just talk to you via text or email or Facebook, the best thing to do is to not respond, at least at first, so that you can allow them to build up this desire to talk to you so much that they actually realize that they want to be with you again. If this stuff is, if this advice and these tips are resonating with you, if it makes sense to you and you like what you're hearing, head over to reunitedrelationships.com, where there's a whole lot more information covering virtually every aspect of breaking up and then getting back together. See you later.